IDOC. So I just wanted to start off here at the 1814 mark because what the brother's saying is very, very poignant. And I'm talking about the brother Yaikwab. The brother is really, really bringing out something that's very important for people to understand, particularly so-called black people, the black man. So I just wanted to play it from here, just so y'all can listen to what the brother is saying, so it can resonate with y'all.
I'm not quite sure about that one. He uses the phrase, why do people believe certain lies? I'll use the term, why do people believe certain narratives or stories? And I'm of the firm belief that the reason why people choose to believe certain narratives is because they know that if they refute those narratives, that means that they have to do something that they don't want to do, which is sit back and meditate, contemplate, and figure out what the truth is, which is, of course, an alternative to the lie that they've been told. It's much more difficult to find out the truth than it is to accept a narrative. And that's why people like to believe narratives. That's why they like to believe what they're told by so-called experts, even when the quote-unquote empirical data is not adding up to the summation that is being delivered to you by the so-called expert. It takes much more work to say to yourself, I know that what this person is telling me is bullshit, and I'm going to go look it up. People would rather just lay back on their couch and play the victim role, to be quite honest with you. If you were to tell the average so-called black person black is not a race, that would make sense to them in their subconscious, and they might even let it creep into their conscious. But it's not going to be something that's going to push them, or at least the average so-called black person, to go further, because that's going to take too much thought. They've already invested too much energy in being quote-unquote black. They've built up this facade, or this fake entity, this veneer of being a proud black man or a proud black woman. So if they no longer accept that their race is black, okay, what now? And how do I know that what you're telling me is the truth as opposed to what I've been told my whole life? They're saying those things and they're trying to contest it, even though in their subconscious, they're saying, okay, that makes sense. How could color be a race? No other race is really signified by their skin color. Even people that you call so-called white, they tell you, well, I'm Turkish, or I'm Hungarian, or I'm Romanian, or I'm whatever. They attempt to give themselves an actual name or an actual title that would denote their origin. So-called black people are just called black. So it's very clear that there's a reason for that, and that's part of the reason why we don't understand what our history is. And because we don't understand what our history is, we don't know what to do. We don't know what our future is. So that's why I always tell brothers you have to focus on the scriptures, because the scriptures tell us who we are, who we were, and where we're going to go.
And that's a fact, and nothing but. It's important for us to embrace the scriptures because the scriptures is the truth. Like, that's the only source for truth in the society is the Bible. And that only applies to the so-called black man because the Bible is your book, so-called black man. The Holy Bible is your book. That's why it's called the Holy Bible. Holy means separate, set apart. Because the Most High chose you to be a king on the earth. He chose you to be a certain power on the earth, to judge the earth in righteousness. But we disavowed that. We disavowed the stipulation that the Most High gave us. Therefore, we are in the current situation we in today because of it. And as always, I want to provide some scriptures. So let's get let's start off with Leviticus chapter 20. Yeah, we're going to get Leviticus chapter 20. And verse 24. So it says here, but I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land. This is talking about the Canaanites. Because we was under captivity in Egypt under the Canaanites and, the nations that came forth out of Ham. And the Negroes, they come from Shem. So we are not African. We have no affinity with the Africans. The Africans come from Ham. We come from Shem. Race is determined by the forefather, not what region you came from. So I just wanted to provide that understanding. So yeah, in Leviticus 24, it says, but I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, in a land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. Once again, the Most High is a separatist. He separated us from the other nations because that codified how different we are. That codified the strength that we have that's totally disparate from any other nation in regards to our vitality and our energy and our output. You know what I mean? Just what personifies us, the spirit that we have, it can't be replicated at all. So let me get Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4 to give you an understanding of why we call ourselves black and why we've been under programming of, you know, what we think we are as opposed to what we truly are. So let's get Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. And it says, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee." So this is the Most High talking to the Israelites. And this is prophetic. You know what I mean? This is the Most High talking through Jeremiah. "And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies." Who are our enemies? These other nations in this society. "In the land which thou knowest not." America is not our home. You feel what I'm saying? America is not our home. We don't know this land. We think we know it because we've been programmed to believe that America is something that we should plug ourselves into. "For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger," meaning we transgressed against the laws. That's what it means when it says we kindled a fire against the Most High in His anger, because we disavowed the Heavenly Father's stipulation of laws, statutes, and commandments. We transgressed. We sinned. We did things that the Most High told us not to do. We worship pagan gods. We got into homosexuality in regards to some of our people. We got into bestiality and transgenderism and lesbianism. And this is talking about in the ancient times. Now, I mean, it's true now, like it's pertinent now, but this been going on in the ancient times with our people who went off. We started to worship other gods. We started to, as men, have sex with another man's wife. These things are all sinful, and that's why we fell. But the Most High is waking up His remnant of people in these last days. That's what He's doing. He's waking up His people in these last days. So yeah, man, that's just something I wanted to bring out. I'm trying to see if it's some more things I feel like I should bring out. You know what I mean? It's very important for us to understand, like, why are we here? Why are we here still? Why has the Most High preserved us? Because we are under mercy. We are under mercy. Now, I mean, we're not living in a time where we had spiritual powers. That time is no more. And that's pursuant to John 9 and 4. And let's go to John 9 and 4 real quick, just to prove that we're not living in a time of where, certain utterances came at the behest of the Most High through a prophet. You know what I mean? Like Ezekiel or Elijah or Moses. These people were real prophets. We don't live in a time of prophecy no more. We are in the time of the fulfillment of prophecy. So we can get that in John 9 and 4. So it says here, well, let's go up just for context. Yahushua answered, "Neither hath this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of the Most High should be made manifest in him." Know what I mean? And this is just giving you understanding of, Christ answering the disciples who asked Christ why a person was born blind. And it goes back to saying, did this man sin? Did his parents sin? Because they had believed that certain people could be, sinning in the womb, or a sin could be traced down from, generation to generation and so on and so forth. But, it's not because of that. It's just, that's what it is. Like the Most High just made that man blind. That's what it is. But in John 9 and 4, it says, "I must work the works of him that sent me." Christ was sent by the Most High to fulfill the law, to give repentance unto the Israelites while it is day, meaning the time where, it was prevalent that people had spiritual powers, and the most powerful person spiritually in the flesh was Yahushua Hamashiach, aka Jesus Christ. So where it says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day, the night cometh. The night cometh is giving you an understanding of the times we living in now. We are living in a time of the night where there's no spiritual powers. There's no prophecy that's being uttered. Like, we're living in a time of prophecy being fulfilled, but people are not prophesying. You feel what I'm saying? There's no prophets. And it also tells you that in Matthew 11 and 13. But just to continue on in this, where it says, when no man can work, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And that's giving you the understanding of that, the fact that the Heavenly Father, Yahushua, actually, on the right hand side is Lucifer. On the right hand side, because Lucifer means enlightenment, and you have to understand that there are dual definitions of words. It's not just limited to one definition. The term Lucifer means light bearer, but that also applies to the left hand path, which is, the triune, Semiramis, Cush, and Nimrod, which is Isis, Horus, and Set. That's Lucifer on the left hand side. That's Lucifer that's based in, Satanism and so on and so forth. But Lucifer on the right hand side is Christ, because Christ was meant to enlighten the people in truth and sincerity. So we got to let go of the sensational aspect of words and just understand the nuance and just the definition of it. We can't just get caught up in Illuminati and Lucifer. Like, we have to understand the definitions of words. We got to get out of this sensational aspect of things and how we approach things as far as words and phenomena. But let's go to Matthew 11 and 13, because prophecy ended when John the Revelator ended his prophecy and took his abode to Ephesus. That's when prophecy ended. Prophecy ended after John the Revelator prophesied. When you read the book of Revelations and so on and so forth. So that's Matthew chapter 11, verse 13, where it says, for all the prophets in the law prophesied until John. So that's just a precept that matches up with John 9 and 4. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it is. And this is not to digress from the point. I just always like to bring in other scriptures because it cross references with the point. So I'm never necessarily getting away from the point, because everything is all based in the spirit in the scriptures. So yeah, man, I just wanted to bring that out for you guys. Look forward to providing some more content, and God bless. Thank y'all.